Good morning, little chippy. Good morning, little chippy. How are you today? Oh. I love you so much.
Hello, I'm commuting. It's crazy. It's Atlanta. It's hard. It's scary. But we're here. I was watching, so I saw the chipmunk this morning, and as I was recording, I had this morbid thought that I sometimes have, where I think, what if while I'm recording, like a hawk or something comes down and gets the chipmunk, and how it would make me sad, but at the same time not so much. Like, it's hard to explain. You have to respect nature and survival, and hawks gotta eat just like everything else. And I guess I would feel sad for the chipmunk but glad for the hawk. And it reminded me of this really interesting part in The Wind in the Willows. It's towards the beginning. I was looking at it this morning after, I was thinking all of this, and I was like, I pulled it out, and it's on page 15, so pretty early on. And the book opens with it's spring, and Mole is spring cleaning, and then he just gets sick of it and decides, I'm gonna go out. And he goes out, and he's just enjoying the day. He goes to the river, and that's where he meets the rat, and the rat has a boat, and they go out in the rat's boat and just enjoying this beautiful spring day on the river. And then the mole notices this trail of bubbles in the water, and it's the otter. So the otter joins this little boating party, and they start gossiping about the other animals in the woods, and they start talking about Toad and all the shenanigans he's been getting into. And at one point, as the otter is launching into a story about what was going on with Toad, he had some fresh tea, and suddenly he stops talking. And as it turns out, he's gone. And the mole notices again, this little trail of bubbles in the water. And it's so interesting the way, because I brought it with me. Because traffic here is so crazy. And we're just going to be, we're going to be sitting here for a little bit. So the otter's gone. The mole looked down. The voice was still in his ears, but the turf whereon he had sprawled was clearly vacant. Not an otter to be seen as far as the distant horizon. But again, there was a streak of bubbles on the surface of the river. The rat hummed a tune, and the mole recollected that animal etiquette forbade any sort of comment on the sudden disappearance of one's friend at any moment, for any reason, or no reason whatever. And I just think that's so pragmatic, right? It's just, because either Like the sudden disappearance of an animal, it's either because they're going to go eat something or they just got eaten. And because the animals, you know, they're in harmony with nature, it's springtime, things are coming out, hungry, and you just can't fault your friends for who they are. And I just thought it was, I mean, it's such a small, tiny little passage, but it just says so much. And I just find it fascinating. And then there's this other part. I find it so interesting. So like later, like one of the most like lauded over chapters in the book, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. And don't get me started on Pink Floyd because I will go on forever. But The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, there's the chapter's basically about, I think we're dealing with a family of otters again. And their youngest, the little baby otter has gone missing. And there's just this whole search party and everybody's looking for this baby otter. And I just thought it was really interesting how Kenneth Grahame, he chose to write the story in such a way where it's like, you know, there's this pragmatism with, you know, just the sudden disappearance of an animal, like, you know, that they're all like hanging out and gossiping and sharing stories, and then just one mid-sentence just disappears and like nobody says anything about it. But then in the case of a baby gone missing, they go looking and they care. And I feel like, you know, you can find examples of that with animals for sure. Maybe not all animals, but definitely, you know, I can think of quite a few right now going both ways. But I just thought that was I really liked that. I love this book so much. And I was thinking about all this morning, watching that chipmunk. And I just hope that I can keep watching this chipmunk and that I don't witness it becoming a meal for another animal, however natural that may be, because it would make me sad. And yeah, that's it. Just thought I'd share some morning literary thoughts while trying to survive in this hell commute on a Monday morning. Into the fray we go. That was only the first part. Finished with 20 and the city, and now it's 75, 85, and then 400. Oh my God. How do I do it? All right. Well, it's time to concentrate now. No more lights. Bye.